Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Madness, Wednesday Night Madness, here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher. Alongside Anthony Florio, we are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he gets here, great. If we don't, then we'll see him tomorrow night for the NBA Draft Recap Special on Anthony's channel on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Guys, here we go. We do have ourselves a good show here tonight as we'll be recapping NXT's Great American Bash. And then we also got AEW Dynamite also tonight as well. So, with that said, we're going to dive right on in and we're going to be recapping right now the Great American Bash that went down last night. So, with that said, we started off the Great American Bash with the with the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, as it was Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane of Toxic Attraction, the winners of the bout in 10 minutes and 29 seconds, and new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Cora, it is Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Okay, first off, history has been made. Excellent, unbelievable story. I gotta say it. This was I honestly this was the great outcome. This was a great story that they've been throwing. Finally, Cora Jade, and more importantly, welcome to the WWE NXT universe to Roxy. Roxanne Perez, her first championship in the WWE/NXT window. It is a tag team title. She parlays that off of winning the Ring of Honor Women's World title before she came to WWE or NXT. My goodness, what an outcome and what a moment. Big win for her. Big title defense, big title capturing, and it was good. It was very good, to say the very least. I love the storyline. I hope that I hope, and I honestly do. I hope that they give Cora Jade and Roxanne a good run with the titles a little bit. I think it's going to be great. But if you notice as well, Roxanne Perez, she's like, you know what? I'm feeling so good after dominating and beating Toxic Attraction. She's going to go for the double. She has challenged Mandy Rose next week for the NXT Women's title. She's going to go for it all. She is going to try to do something unprecedented in NXT history. The first woman ever to try to capture both the tag titles and the NXT Women's Championship and hold them both at the exact same time. It was great that you got this one. You might be going a little too. I think you're going a little too far there, Roxy. I think you might be making a mistake. But history was made last night, Anthony. This was a solid opener. Two and a half. Whoa, 2.5 to 3 stars. I'm a little jacked up. I'm a little fired up right now. 2.5 to 3. History was made. New tag champions. Florio, it's yours.
The biggest positive here is that there are finally new women's tag team champions. Toxic Attraction have dominated for too long. As long as this is not a Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez situation with a short reign, the women's tag division gets a necessary boost. This looked like a better match on paper than in practice. The women worked fine together, but it felt like the two teams did not come in with much of a plan. It was just a generic tag where the result came up suddenly after 10 minutes. But I'm going to give it 3 stars for the effort. And Mandy Rose was out there, and she got thrown out when she pulled the referee out of the ring. And as MF said, Roxy's going for the jugular. She wants to be a double champion. But Mandy responded by mocking Roxy for thinking she could beat her. And, well, I'm a little torn. I mean, my gut's telling me Mandy finds a way again. But at the same time, my heart is telling me Roxy is going to make history again. And if that happens, MF, think about this. I mean, here's Roxy, who became, wasn't she the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Champion? She wasn't? I think she was, right? I mean, first ever Women's Ring of Honor Champion.
No, under the new iteration of the Ring of Honor Women's World Title, yes, she was the first one. But there's been multiple people prior that had what they called the Women of Honor title. So under the Women's World Championship, she's the first. But no, Anthony, that actual the Women of Honor Championship was actually first before anything else. So no, Anthony, she was the first to hold it, but not under what you're thinking of. No.
All right. Just wanted to be sure on that. So, but yeah, big opportunity next week. I know you have doubts, MF. I don't know why, but I got this feeling that they might actually pull the trigger on this. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and find out. But
yeah, to confirm, Anthony, Sumi Sakai was actually the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She became the first ever Women of Honor champion. So actually, she would be recognized as the first ever.
All right. So, but anywho, 3 stars for this effort, and MF, I know you have your doubts, but boy, howdy, could you imagine if WWE actually pulls the trigger on this and make Roxy a double champion?
Oh man. Ooh. Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to wait and find out. So I'll say it like this: if they make that the main event next week, I think there's a very good chance it happens.
Yeah.
Go for the big bang and send the crowd home happy. And I think that would most certainly send the crowd home happy. So no doubt about it. So 3 stars for me. Great way to start off the Great American Bash. New and deserving women's tag team champions, Roxy and of course a young lady who you've taken a liking to as of late, MF, Cora Jade. And yeah, so I just hope they get a longer run with it. I don't want to see them hot-shotting them back like Dakota and Raquel did. So we don't want that. So give them a good run with it, and we're fine. So 3 stars. Let's move on.
All right. And with that said, we do indeed move on. The next thing that we did have was Wesley going one-on-one with Trick Williams. Trick Williams wins the match in 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And it looks like Trick pulls something seems a little off about that. I think that because it looked like Trick rubbed some kind of foreign substance and blinded Wesley, and according to the commentary crew, it sounded like it was rubbing alcohol. So yeah, that is not cool, man. Trick
Brilliant.
Brilliant. All right, Florio, explain yourself. Give me a break.
Just being Jesse Ventura. That's all, man.
I knew that. That's why I was trying. And I was trying to be the gorilla. Explain yourself.
Hey, you know the proverb: win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
another one of those Florio-isms. So, I don't think we really need to talk much about this match.
No,
I don't think
it
there's
was a
really
regular.
much for us to talk about.
It was a regular. It was a regular NXT match, even though they're promoting it as a big event.
Yeah. All right. So then we had Wendy Cho going up against Tiffany Stratton, and this actually was interesting because the fight actually started in the back during the commercial break, and I gotta give it up for WWE and NXT. They actually did picture in picture during the commercial. They did picture in picture, so we got to see this whole brawl break out from the back, get to ring, and then once we got into the ring, it just kept going. So I don't know how we could even give a rating on this one, Anthony. I thought, is this a segment? Is this an actual match? I mean, how do you rank it? What do you say about it?
It was a match. Tiffany Stratton won the match. Yes, it started in the back, but it was a match. The bell rang, so this actually is a match.
She won it in 5:05.
Okay.
She won it in 5:05, but the thing is, I felt like it was longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But I'm gonna give this 2.5 for the effort. While it took some time, Tiffany Stratton found her way in the ring, and she has gotten steadily better with each performance, and this was her best match to date. It was silly at first, then turned physical with both women using everything in their arsenal to win. Honestly, it was a shame it only lasted 5 minutes. The Buff Barbie winning made sense. She continues to shine with strong booking, and I think she'll be in the title scene before long. And Chu powered Stratton backstage, then drove her in a wheelchair through the backstage area. And Chu countered a powerbomb with a head scissors takedown, then hit a Uranagi into a sleeper hole. Very impressive, but I would give this 2.5, teetering on 3, because this was, as we always like to say, a fun little sprint. So imagine what they could have done with more time. I would have taken that other match off the card completely and given that time to this, and then we could have really been going here. But anyways, 2.5 to 3 for this effort. Sleeper fight of the night, fun little sprint. So, and MF, I believe if Roxy somehow wins the women's title next week, I think Tiffany Stratton would make a good challenger for her down the road.
She would probably be the first one. Yeah, she definitely would be a very interesting challenger. As a matter of fact, if you remember in the breakout tournament, the final match, the finals, was Stratton versus Roxy or Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez went on to win that match and wins the breakout tournament. That is giving her the opportunity to fight for the NXT women's title. And oh, by the way, next week, she will get that opportunity to try to become the NXT women's champion. So with that said, we do move on. And our next thing that we did have was our next match, as it was Carmelo Hayes versus Grayson Waller for the North American Championship. Carmelo Hayes wins the match, 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Great match. Unbelievable fight. Great psychology. Great action. Up to this point, this was my fight of the night. This was easily 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. This, normally heel on heel, you never know how it goes, but they shedded that image away. This was Grayson Waller's best match to date. And on top of that, Carmelo is money. He always is money. He shines when the bright lights are on, and he did it again last night. For me, this was shooing. This is shut up and take my money level. This was a pay-per-view quality match. Great action all the way through. Florio, it's yours.
Right there with you. 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Wow. This was one of the best television matches NXT has produced all year. Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller have chemistry left to explore and told a great story of two men unafraid of taking shortcuts. The action was wild and led to a dramatic final sequence. This should not be the end of this rivalry, especially when the A champion turns face down the road. He and Waller have plenty they can still deliver. For now, it made sense for Melo to retain as the fresh champion. And backstage beforehand, Waller promised to take gold from Melo while the A champion made clear any friendship he had with Waller was ruined. Melo got a special introduction with dramatic music and all that. Melo caught Waller with a tilt-a-whirl DDT. Waller responded with a signature springboard elbow drop, and Wes Lee was the difference maker. Wes Lee attacked Trick Williams outside, causing a distraction that set up Waller to roll back into the ring right into a facebuster. So, fantastic match, and who knows what this could be. It could be leading to some more action down the road. Maybe we get another match. I don't know. We'll see. But 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Very good match here. Definitely one of the fights of the night. No doubt about it. So with that, MF, let's continue on.
All right, Anthony. Next up that we had was the Battle of the Diamond Mine. The Creed brothers putting the NXT Tag Team titles on the line against Roderick Strong and Damon Camp. And when it was all said and done, the Creed does it again. 12 minutes, 13 seconds, successfully defending the NXT Tag Team Championship. Anthony, it is yours.
I'm going to give this just a solid 3.5 stars here. This was the third best fight of the night, I think. It was a solid tag team match that showcased what the Messiah of the Backbreaker does best. He was the reign general here while making Julius and Brutus Creed look as dangerous as they ever have. And the reason why I'm not going any higher is because I felt the bout lacked drama. It never felt like Roderick Strong and Damon Kemp had a chance to win. However, that seemed to be the point. Roderick Strong is simply not able to keep up with the Creeds, and it is causing him to fall apart. And, Ivy Nile, definitely, you got to imagine what she was thinking throughout all this. And Brutus hurt himself as he blasted Damon Kemp outside with a Brutus bomb, and Strong slapped Julius to cause a distraction that blasted Brutus with 2 high knees. And those were the couple of moments. And before the match, Diamond Mine warmed up, but Strong walked away. So I don't know where this is leading, but for right now, a solid 3.5 star match. I can't go any higher than that, but it was another one of the fights of the night for sure. And right team most certainly won. So with that said, MF, champions stay the champions. Who's next for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting because there's really no team at the moment. I mean, you could go pretty deadly because they were the former champions. You could get them back into it. The other team is maybe you give it to the Dawn, to the Dawns. Maybe you let them have a shot at the belts. Maybe it could be Legado. You don't know with that either. There's a number of ways this could go. And there's really not one clear-cut favorite. I kind of hope and feel like, we'll see what happens here. And, we'll see how it plays out. So the main event was Braun Breaker versus Cameron Grimes, the NXT title on the line. Braun Breaker successfully defends the title in 12 minutes and 33 seconds. Hard-fought victory. But then at the end of the match, J.D. Madonna shows up and jumps the champion. Anthony, it looks like our Jordan Devlin has made it very known. He's after the NXT title. He's going after Braun Breaker. And you know what? if there's one guy who I think could take the belt from Braun, this guy is it, man. If you've seen his body of work on NXT UK, you will know why I say that.
And he's a former cruiserweight champion of the world as well.
Yes.
And had some big moments there. And but anyways, I'm gonna do some indemnits here. The tag team titles was the third fight of the night. This was the second. I think the North American was the fight of the night. This was the second one, though. Really strong main event. The pace steadily built over the course of the match to make it almost feel like the cave-in by Cameron Grimes would seal the win. Champion won by the skin of his teeth, and there is something to be said of whether the challenger would win in a second round. However, it looks like Braun Breaker moving on to another extremely talented heel. JD McDonough has already won gold in NXT, and he will likely win more. However, I think he's unlikely to dethrone Breaker, but he should make an immediate impact by working off of him. And going into the match, Breaker said his shoulder was fine, and he refused tape from the trainer. And Grimes promised him he would do anything to win. And Grimes caught Breaker with a somersault plancha off the apron of the right shoulder of Breaker, then stomped on the injury repeatedly. And Breaker caught Grimes with a Frankensteiner for a close near fall. And Grimes very nearly won with the cave-in. So this was another 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 for this. This was the second best fight of the night for me. I just felt the North American match was the show stealer for me. So, but then again, it's Cameron Grimes. He's the one who carried Braun Breaker in this one, and I think JD McDonough will probably be tasked with doing the same when they square off eventually. So 3.5 to 3 3/4 for this, but this was the second best fight. I thought the North American was by a smidge the best. So, MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was about 3. I think 3 1/4. So yeah, I think the body of work was really good. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. Is it the best match? Absolutely not. I think we can totally agree with that. But for Braun, this is what he exactly needed. He needed victories like this. So I really got nothing more to add. So Anthony, it's yours. Give me your overall thoughts on NXT 2.0 or the Great American Bash. What did you think? How did you think they did?
Well, 7.5 to 8. I feel we only had one really bad match, and that was the Wes Lee and Trick Williams match. But other than that, I mean, all the other matches were good to solid, were solid to good to great. Waller and Mello definitely stole the show on this night. Main event, close second. Both tag team title matches were solid, and we crowned new women's tag team champions, and Braun Breaker's already moved on to a potential new challenger in JD McDonough, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens from here. So when they have these themed shows and those pay-per-view events, they always tend to put the best foot forward. We usually get the good stuff here. The regulation shows, well, hardly ever deliver. But in this case, theme show, good stuff. So 7.5 to 8 for me, and we'll see about next week. It'll probably be a back to reality show, even though we've got that big women's title matchup with Mandy Rose and Roxy. So 7.5 to 8. MF, your thoughts, and then we'll get into the Dynamite.
Yeah, this is about 7.5. I think it was a solid show. I thought they did a really good job with it, body of work and everything else. They still got some work to do, but you can tell NXT is definitely improving. I feel like we heard about that WWE or that Triple H is now back in control of NXT, and I kind of starting to feel like yes, that they're starting to look like that show again. So I'm not gonna say it's a complete that they're all the way back, but they are getting there more than anything else. So it's a good start. They just got to keep going, but they're setting us up very well. So nothing more to say, and we're gonna go right into AEW Dynamite. Started it off with the the TNT Championship. Warlow versus Scorpio Sky. Winner of the bout in 8 minutes and 1 second. And new TNT champion Warlow. He wins the title here tonight. History was made as we had an unprecedented crowning and a new champion in Rochester, New York. Unbelievable night. Look, congratulations to Wardlow on winning the championship. It was a great moment. It was a great feeling. History was made. And Anthony, a very deserving champion in Wardlow. His dream has finally come true. He's no longer the lackey of MJF. He is finally a champion in AEW.
And with that, cue the tripod confetti, baby. That's all I can. That's I mean, you know it's a big deal when they break out the tripod confetti, man. You know it.
Oh yeah.
You know how much we love it. So not just there, but in any other promotion. But when they break that stuff out, oh yeah, you know it's a big deal, and well deserved as well. The only criticism I have, however, is it was not a particularly good match. But then again, it didn't have to be. There were plenty of bells and whistles as the participants attempted to protect the injured Scorpio Sky, but it worked within the context of the story. The heel cheated and relied on his associates, but no shortcut could halt the path of rage Wardlow forged in this match. One of the hottest baby faces in the industry following his storyline with MJF and victory over the scarf-wearing heel back at Double or Nothing. He absolutely should have won and did, adding another significant achievement early in his still young career. And what else is there to say? Well deserved, and I thought he was going to win it the first time they met, but I was proven wrong. But this time around, I had no doubt he was winning, but then again, I think we all had no doubt he was winning, and he finally gets his moment. He's finally got a championship, and I think it's only going to lead to bigger and better things for the War Dogs. So congratulations, Wardlow. Well deserved. A second deserving champion crowned within the last few days after Liv Morgan last Saturday night at Money in the Bank. So more of this, please. That's all I can say. More deserving champion. Let's crown some more new deserving champions, please. Let's keep this going. I love it. So with that, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star for the match. 5 stars for the tripod confetti. Move on.
Next up, we had. Next up, we had was Butcher and the Blade. They went up against Swerve in Our Glory, as it was Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Swerve in Our Glory wins the match in 9 minutes and 41 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. A sometimes disjointed match featured expected physicality and saw the latter tandem dominate for a large portion of the bout. The babyfaces fought back and scored the win to enhance their argument for an AEW World Tag Team Championship opportunity. And they're going to get it. After a fiery post-match promo from Team Taz's Ricky Starks or as JR would say, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs gave way to an interruption from the champions, the Young Bucks, who issued a challenge for a 3-way championship match next week as part of Road Rager in Savannah, Georgia, night 1, Fighter Fest rather. And match was fine, but not quite as good as it should have been given the talent. It often appeared as though the two teams were on different pages, leading to some spots that were just a tad off. The promo from Team Taz was electric and featured Starks going off on Strickland and Lee with the type of intensity we had yet to see from him to that point. It was straight fire and reflective of a guy who has found himself on the mic. He's confident, can be cocky or angry, and understands the assignment each and every time. And the three-way between the teams in question next week will be extraordinary. And as fans so adeptly pointed out, is lacking one team, FTR. Don't worry. I expect the Bucks to retain and set up a showdown with Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler Labor Day weekend in Chicago, Sunday night, September the 4th, for All Out. So that's how I feel about it. What was the time of that fall on that one, MF?
I want to say 9:41. I think it was. Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, you said it was 9 something.
No, I was right. 9:41, right on the dot.
All right. So I'll give this. I'll give it a solid 2 3/4 to 3 stars for the effort. That's really all there is to say on that. Right team definitely won, and they also played up the tension with Swerve and Keith Lee, where it looked like it was gonna fall apart after that miscommunication, but thankfully they bounced back for the win. So we'll wait and see. And now next week they'll be challenging for the World Tag Team Championship. Swerve in Our Glory, Starks and Hobbs, and the Young Bucks. Like I said, I think the Young Bucks retain, and then I think MF will slowly but surely start planting the seeds for what could be the tag team match what will be the tag team match of the year with the Young Bucks and FTR, maybe for all the gold at All Out.
All right. So with that said, we had with Rush going one-on-one with Penta El Oscuro.
MF special.
Oh yes, it's an MS special. Of course, Rush, former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, Penta El Oscuro, you already know what he's done in his career. Former AAA Mega Campeón, multi-time tag team champion. Yes, he was also, I believe he was also a Lucha Underground champion along the way, somewhere in his career. So one of the bread and butters in AAA and in wrestling combined. Of course, also a former Ring of Honor, former AEW World Tag Team Champion with Rey Fénix, the Lucha Bros. So when it was all said and done, Rush wins the match, wins it in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Solid fight. Good match. Good battle between these two. Probably better than expected. But there was a couple of mishaps. There was a couple of spots where they went a little off. But it's not bad. It's not all bad. It's a couple of nitpicks here and there that kind of stuck out. But all in all, this is 3.5 stars. This was a great matchup. The body of work was solid to good. It wasn't like in the great level because, like I said, the mistakes that they were making, even though they were minuscule, they were actually eyesores. Like you could actually notice, oh, there's a botch there. Oh, yeah, that looked a little shaky at best. So, like, you could even point out where the mistakes were being made. But still, great matchup, great ring psychology. They worked really well. I was a little nervous going into this because with the size and the difference and everything else, but they made it work. They made this work. It was very good. Anthony, it's yours.
I said it was an MF special because I know you know both of these guys very well, MF, and you just dropped the knowledge on us.
I just proved it to you why.
Yeah, and did they meet anywhere else? I mean, the commentary team said that. I mean, Excalibur said that they fought in. I don't know if they fought in Mexico or somewhere before.
They have faced off in AAA. It was a tag team match. They've never faced off one-on-one. This was actually first time one-on-one. But in tag team with Rey Fénix and with Andrade El Idolo, but that goes back like way, way, way back. We're talking maybe 10 years ago is when they faced off.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah, this is way before. This was when they were starting in their careers, kind of more than anything else. They were not the big names that they are now, but this was when they were kind of coming up the ranks, as they would say.
Gotcha. This match, like most of the night's in-ring action to this point, it was fine, but it felt a step off for me. Both men are great wrestlers and have shown as much across numerous countries, but it didn't quite live up to the expectations when the match was announced late today. The finish certainly escalates the rivalry and sets up a future tag match between the two tandems that I hopefully believe will be better and meet those lofty expectations set by fans who know all too well what everyone involved is capable of. And what happened? The mask comes into play again. Roosh unmasked Penta after a low blow. And MF, I know how you get about that. With the unmasking there, because we know the lineage behind it. It's been well documented on our show many years, but I will give it 3.5 for the effort, but I felt it could have been better, even though it was a fine match. So with that being said, 3.5 for me. So I think it's going to lead to a Lucha Bros versus Roosh and Andrade match down the road. I don't know when, especially after that unmasking. Oh yeah, we're moving on. We're going to keep going.
So next up we had was the Acclaim and the Gun Club going up against Bear Country, Fuego del Sol, and Leon Ruffin. When it was all said and done, the Acclaim and the Gun Club won the match in 3:54. There was definitely some dissension among the ranks. But at the end, it was Papa Gunn, Billy Gunn, going with the Gun Club. He turned on the Acclaim. He beat down Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, just laid them out in a heap, helping Austin and Colton Gunn. Was it a plan all along? Did they swerve the Acclaim after all that? Because you remember how tight they were, and it looked like last week that Billy Gunn had sided with the Acclaim, but no, he's gone back with his sons, and well, you wanted the Acclaim face turn. You got it. Here it is. Sorry, by default, worst fight of the night. I'm not even gonna, we don't really need to talk about it. It's totally up to you, Florio. We could just move right on along to the women's tag if you want.
Move on.
All right. Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, the Thunderstorm, they went up against Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. Thunderstorm wins the match in 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Anthony, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, we went a little too fast there. What was that time again?
8:38.
8:38. Okay. This has been the theme of the night here. The match, like the rest on the show to this point, perfectly acceptable, but lacked the overall quality we have come to expect from AEW. I mean, the fire from Rosa was great, and Toni Storm continues to be one of the more consistent performers in the women's division. But the match did little more than introduce the idea of Storm and Rosa as a tag team, and as the commentary team hinted afterwards, sell some T-shirts. But I will give otherwise very little in the way of explanation for why they would suddenly be an effective team, let alone be able to to beat the opposition in their first go around. So I'll give it about 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for the effort. So there isn't much more to say on that. So I believe it's main event time, MF.
Main event, Jon Moxley versus Brody King for the AEW Interim World Title. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 4 seconds, and still the AEW interim world champion Jon Moxley. Yeah, solid match. Great main event. Body of work was excellent. Easily fight of the night. We really got nothing more to say about that, as it was really, 3.5 to 3 3/4. Excellent main event. The body of work was amazing. The action was hard hitting. And even AEW was even saying, oh, we might run over time, guys, because with everything that's going on, don't worry. TBS promised us that we could watch it, that you're not going to lose any time. If this goes over, they will not cut away. They only went over by a minute. What the bleep? Are you kidding me? So you do all that hype saying, oh, it could go over, and you go over by a stupid minute. A stupid minute. And you go over? And you made all that hype for nothing. God, AEW. That's a WWE mistake. That's a WWE move.
They rushed.
Huh?
They rushed.
They didn't need to. If TBS was going to give them all the time in the world, give it. You don't need a rush. That's stupid. That's idiotic. That's stupid. And that's not good.
Bush League.
Look. When NXT does their shows, they run over and they give us whatever as much time as they need. I know nowadays wrestling that you got to get the shows done whenever you do. But God, man, no. This is not how to do it, man. This annoyed me more than anything else. Like, I even told Florio, I was like, I think we might need to push the show back because I'm thinking this might go. We might be here for a little bit, so I might need to push the show back to 10:30. Oh no! Minute later, the match is over, and Anthony's like, Mike, we could start now if you want to. Great matchup. I'm just annoyed with the pacing and the timing of AEW. This didn't need to rush. You had plenty of time. TBS was giving you all the time that you needed, unless you lied. And God forbid if you lied to us about that. Florio is yours.
Yeah, and you're gonna get the side of MF you just saw. That's not the good old MF side. That's the Cerebral Viper side you just saw, or heard. But like I said, the match was rushed considerably to meet television time, and the show still ran over by 2 minutes. As such, it did not have the time to really breathe and develop into the badass battle between two ferocious competitors that it could have been. The fans in Rochester reacted accordingly, finding it difficult to fully engross in without a defined comeback. The match was a great representation of the show as a whole, and that the potential was certainly there, but not everything clicked, and the result was so-so, rather than the fantastic championship clash between two wholly unique performers that it could have been. That the finish came out of nowhere after 10 minutes of King dominating did not help the narrative either. I'll give it 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star, but you heard what I just said on that. William Regal joined Taz, Excalibur, and JR at the commentary table and wasted little time putting over the challenge that Brody King presented Jon Moxley. Brody King chopped Moxley and dropped into his knees in a moment of dominance, and Mox responded by coming face-to-face with his top contender and instigating an exchange of forearms. That's really all there is. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for this. As a whole, I got to say this was, it didn't feel like the banger AEW Dynamites that we're used to. I mean, it kind of felt like it was a WWE type show almost. I mean, yeah, the matches were good, but they should have been better, to be honest with you. And that's why I could only give this maybe at best a 7 out of 10. And, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was coming off the long holiday weekend. I really don't know. But But I got a good feeling about next week, though. I mean, AEW with their theme shows, usually they always do damn well.
Yeah.
Just like with NXT. And that three-way for the World Tag Team Championships with the Young Bucks, Swerve in Our Glory, and Starks and Hobbs. I got a good feeling about that match.
And not only that, but you also got a very pissed off Eddie Kingston, and especially after what the Jericho Appreciation Society did tonight to poor Ruby Soho.
Ugh.
I mean, what was that all about? And what's the connection between Eddie Kingston and Ruby Soho? Is there something that I'm missing here?
I'm asking myself.
Are they an item?
I'm asking myself the same thing. I don't know either.
Because that was deplorable. Absolutely deplorable what we saw.
Agreed. And also next week, not only are we going to see that three-way tag team title match, we're also going to get the former Real Americans one-on-one. Claudio Castagnoli and Jake Hager are going to go one-on-one next week. Be a man fight. Get ready. And I expect there to be a lot of "We the People" chants.
Oh yeah, they will.
Just like we had at the Blood and Guts. You heard it during Blood and Guts.
I remember.
They did the same thing. They did the "We the People" because they know the history.
Yep.
The only thing we need is to have Zeb Coulter maybe as like an enforcer or something. That's probably what they should do. But obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. But those are the two big ones for next week, and both have potential, especially that tag team match, that tag team title three-way. So that'll be next week in Savannah, Georgia. Hopefully those will be better. And it's not often I say this about an AEW Dynamite show. We always have positive things to say and high marks, but it kind of felt like a swing and a miss tonight.
It did.
7 out of 10, and what I was gonna say was solid, but not overly spectacular. I'm used to saying that about Raws or SmackDowns or what have you, but
we would be going a lot more harder on, if this was WWE, we'd probably be going a lot more harder than we are right now for AEW.
Because we're used to that in WWE.
Granted, the matches were fine. Some of the matches were fine. It's just there's a lot of nitpicks that we needed to call them out on. Timing, pacing. I think that's going to be the biggest problem we have tonight with AEW, because the matches were fine, the card was fine, everything that was going is good, but it felt like they took a night off. It felt like they took a night off. This was not the best wrestling that we've seen from AEW, and we've seen perfection in the past.
Forbidden Door.
Like, we've seen nights where they leave us speechless, and we praise the ground that they walk on. Tonight, we can't do that.
This might have been the worst Dynamite of 2022.
Oh, I don't know if I can go that far. I don't think I can go there.
I said might.
Yeah, I don't even think I can say that. No. I don't think it was. I think, honestly, yes, it's middle of the road. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but I can't call it the worst. I don't think I can. I mean, even you saying that it might be the worst, I don't even think I can say that with the legit honesty. I think it was a middle of the road. I think it should have been a lot more better, but I'm not gonna be totally slamming it. I can't do that. But I thought they did good. I thought it was solid. I thought it was a good show. Could have been better? Absolutely, it could have been a lot more better.
Should have been.
But I'm not going to pile drive this into the ground like I think a lot of people thought it should have been. But no, at the end of the day, 7 is the right call, and we'll just leave it at that. All right, so we're out of here. So tomorrow night, like we said, is our very special edition of Anthony Florio will be hosting it. The NBA draft special letter grade by grade of all the teams in the NBA. How did we like them? How did we not like it? We'll go from there. Friday night is Cerebral Smack Talk. We got SmackDown Live, AEW Rampage, and this is where I'm going to drop the big 3. Big 3. You guys have been waiting for it. You're like, Mike, where's the big 3? Where's the big 3? If you wait on Friday, you'll get it. I'll give you it all. You'll get the recap from last week, the preview of the action that starts on Saturday. You'll get it, guys. Don't worry. You just got to be patient. You'll get it in a couple of nights. We'll do it then. All right. So with that said, we're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. For Anthony Flair and Michael Fletcher.
What time?
Good night, everybody. What up?
What time?
10.
Okay.
10 o'clock tomorrow night. Tone 25. YouTube.com. We're out of here. Good night.